Hello, I am Centimus Prime, and here I will be unboxing the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Micronus Prime. So starting off, we will be taking a look at the packaging itself, so getting a closer look at that. Up here we do get the window display of the figure inside. Over here onto this top corner, we uh, get like the more it meets the eye. We do see how many steps it takes to transform this figure, as well as the recommended age. And over here on this side, we do get some nice box arts of Micronus Prime, as well as his exosuit, as well as like the head for his like exosuit. And down here, we do get Micronus Prime riding this unicycle thing, which is, I believe, the alt mode for this exosuit sort of armor. And down here, we do get the Transformers title. We do get the subtitle, which is Age of the Primes. Down here is the Hasbro logo, as well as here we have the name of the figure as well as their faction symbol. Up here on top, we do get Micronus Prime, as well as the Takara Tomy logo, as well as this thing to allow this box to hang on some like on some like uh, pegged shelves. Over here on this side, we do get a portion of the like poster art for Age of the Primes, showing off three of the primes here, that being Solus Prime, uh, Alchemist Prime, as well as Micronus Prime. And down here, you do get Transformers Age of the Primes, uh, the deluxe class, telling you that it is a deluxe class. Here's a look at the bottom. Not much going on there, just like words and things. Over here on this side, we do get a closer look at the box art here on the front. Only this time it's slightly enlarged, and we do get to look at more of that detail. And then we have this stuff which we've been seeing on the box already. But yeah, that looks pretty good. And then back here for the box, down here we have like more like words and things and like barcodes and stuff. Scan to like scan stuff. And over up here we do get the name of the figure again, as well as some render shots of the uh, of the Transformers of the figure inside. So here we have like render shots of Micronus Prime, as well as render shots for the exosuit, as well as a little shot here of the 13 of the prime of Micronus's accessory relic accessory. This in this case being the Chimera Stone. And then over here you do see how many steps it takes to transform these figures. And yeah, with that's pretty much it for the box. Taking a look at the box. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this open. So there's a piece of tape here. Just slice that open. Let's go ahead and get this open. There we go. You have like this piece of paper thing, which like all these transformer boxes come with. Just put that back in there. Set that off to the side. Here we get the the flip out instructions thing, showing how to convert and transform the figures inside. It really is figures because like, yeah, smaller figure as well as like the larger figure inside, I think. And then here we have a look at the figure itself. Very nice. Get this open again so we can cut out the accessories. Let's get that out of the way. Let's do that. Now we can go ahead and get this thing open. So here's our little accessory burrito, or a little accessory thing wrapped up in Autobot paper. And I believe this is going to be the accessory that this guy comes with. Let's do it. Let's go. There we go. There's a look at that. There's his, there's Microbus Prime's little relic. Oh, it looks really cool. That's really nice. That looks nice. That looks nice. And now it's time for the figure itself. So let's go ahead and cut these out. Sheath that back in. Right, there's it. Let's get that open. Alright. Let's sweep those off and move this out of the way. Let's move this down a bit. And here we have Microbus out of the box, and yeah, like that. Like, alright. Very cool. Very nice. Here's a look at him from the back. Like some like rotor, got like some spinny things here on the back. Like a sculpted M down there. Okay. And then there's a spot on the chest for the accessory, with which we can just place this in there, plug that in like that, and then we have that. Pretty cool. Very cool. Let's go ahead and check out. Yeah, let's go ahead and check out some and check the tolerances for this guy. Okay, the ball joint in the head's kind of hard to get to. Oh, okay, so basically it's easier for me to just use my nails and grab him by the head crest and just to turn like that, because like there's not a whole lot of space there for me to grab his head with my fingy, so I'm just gonna turn his head with my nails, which is slightly inconvenient, but it's not too bad, I don't think. The arms. Okay, the shoulders have good tolerance control. The shoulders are pretty good. Very nice. Very stiff. Very smooth. Very secure. Bicep rotation. This one's a bicep rotation. On this side it's a bit tight, but that's fine. This one's also a tad bit tight. So yeah, the biceps are a little bit tight, but that's not too bad. Elbows. This one is this one. This elbow joint is ever so slightly looser than this one, but they're both not. But they're both. But neither of them are bad. They're not too tight, not too loose. It's just that this one is slightly looser by comparison. But that's not saying that it's loose. It's just saying it's looser by comparison to the other one. Got rotations in the hands. The rotation on this hand is very stiff. Uh, this one's slightly less stiff. This one's not too bad. This one's pretty good. This one's ever so slightly tighter, I think. Ooh, hips are pretty good. Ooh, as well as the thigh rotation. Yeah, the hips and thigh rotations are pretty good. That's nice. And there clearly isn't really any and from what I'm seeing here, there doesn't seem to be any waist rotation, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world, really. The knees are these are kind of knees are interesting. They have smooth joints, but I'm trying to figure out if these guys. Oh, this one. Okay, so there's like a little peg here, like that's like keeping it from bending that much. All right, now that that's out of the way, yeah, the knees have some good range, and they have some good tolerances as well. That's nice. And then for the ankles, the ankle tilts, the ankle tilt's pretty good. That's nice. That's nice. These spin around freely, and these things can rotate. Right, move back and forth a little bit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so the figure from what I'm experiencing so far is not too bad. It has some nice solid joints. Its articulation, its range of it's he has decent range. He is missing some of like your more modern like points of articulation, like the waist rotation, or 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 like any like inner like shoulder movements or anything like that. But like the range of movement from the joints are pretty good from what I'm experiencing so far. But that's not quite it, because I believe this opens up to reveal the micronus inside. So let's go ahead and untap him and get a look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's actually real. That's actually really nicely painted. Huh. And also looks like the minicon like logo that they use for like Armada and like that PS2 game. That's nice. And here's a look at it from the underside. Okay. Has some interesting. Has like some like nicely. There's some interesting stuff in here. Some nice details and stuff. This side looks really nice. It looks really cool. Looks nicely painted. All right. Let's go ahead and transform this little guy and see how this guy's robot mode looks. So I believe, and I haven't looked at the instructions yet, but from the looks of it, does look to be a very simplistic transformation. Right, so these shift up. These can rotate, shift up and rotate. Then I believe this guy's head just rotates around. Let's straighten out the legs a bit. His arms in a position. And here we have Microbus Prime in his little robot mode. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. You can tell that a lot of the... Alright. Look at that. And then here's a look at him from the back. He does have some little details here in the back to make his back feel more fleshed out. That's nice. Huh. Something that I feel like can be a problem in... I feel like something that can be an issue in the... Alright. So, from the looks of it, this guy doesn't really have... Yeah, from the looks of it, so this guy seems to have a bit of an issue that is not going to be that bad right now, but I feel like it's going to be an issue later on. It's the... You know, like, it looks like his limbs are made out of translucent and appear, and yeah, it looks like his head is made out of it too. His lower limbs as well as his head are made out of translucent plastic, and as a result, they're using, and for some reason, they're also using ball joints for that, which may not be an issue right now, but I feel, but from what I've seen with these translucent ball joints, it has a tendency to break over time. So hopefully this doesn't happen with this little guy, but for now let's check out his tolerances and stuff. His head's real nice despite how tiny it is. It actually feels easier to turn around and articulate than the head on here. The shoulders on ball joints, and they're okay ball joints. The elbows on ball joints. They're slightly tighter, which is slightly concerning. But I'll hold off on that for now. And this one feels even tighter. That's slightly more concerning. Yikes. The hips are on small universal joints, so that's nice at least. And the knees are on ball joints. Okay. And these knees feel slightly looser than I feel a bit significantly looser than the ball joints in the elbows. So there is that. Well, there we have that. Here we have Microbus. And we can just go ahead and close that up. here we have, and with that, so like here we have Microbus Prime as well as his like suit of his like little mech suit. So in terms of my first impressions, it's not too bad, but I can definitely see some issues that might happen later on down the line. But for right now, at least, this is not looking too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and like mess around with the with the figure and like and eventually give you my overall thoughts of this set in for my review of for my review from my Cronus. But uh, until then, I think that'll be it for this unboxing. If you enjoyed this video, consider to like and subscribe, and maybe even comment if you want. And of course, I will be posting again sooner or later.